Even a natural blonde, unless they're a towhead, has peaks and valleys. Okay?
And so when I paint my shadow, I just go underneath. It's like I'm digging out that hair. See how it comes underneath my highlight? That's what creates a pretty low light. Instead of going right on top and lifting it directly off the scalp, I'm digging it from underneath my highlight. And that makes it look more like a shadow instead of a streak.
Because you know, like if you do a foil and you do a highlight and a low light and a highlight and a low light, it looks like cat scratch fever when you're done. Because you look, you know, it's too obvious. You know, you want contrast to be like this. Look at a magazine. If you look at Victoria's Secret's models, how many times do people bring in pictures of that? You don't know where the highlight starts and stops. It's just in the hair. It's all about the energy. And that's what we want to create. And in this French layering, you can do this technique very, very fast.
And now I'm going to go, because I did them thick, it's like in foils, it's prettier when you do different. So now I'm going to go a little skinnier as I work through the top where she wants to see the blonde. I'm going to go skinny. Because another thing, and I've actually learned this recently, is blondes want to see blonde, 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 you know, on the money pieces, which is the crown, the hairline, and around the face. So lately, I had been getting too natural. So I had to rear it back in a little bit and get a little tighter. So always be a good judge of who wants to see that blonde, 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 and who wants to go a little bit more, putting a lot more shadow in, like on Shannon's hair if we get to do it today. And then I move this here and I paint to the side, and then down on top. You see?
So if you had to do the regrowth,
You could do a
what would you do? Would you do it before?
You can do the regrowth first and then paint the highlights and the lowlights right on top of the regrowth.
You can do it at the same time.
Right.
That's what Candy does a
Because
lot.
you want dimension, you don't want to have it exact.
Correct.
You want to do it all at once too, if you can.
If you can. Doesn't mean that you always can. You know, because you may be changing the whole, like if I had you and you were a blonde and I wanted to make you a brunette but then put caramel highlights in, I might have to go ahead and get the caramel, you know, the dark brown and then put the highlights in. Sometimes you can paint them on top and sometimes you can't. On you could. Ooh, yeah.
And also, if it looks pretty when you're painting it, it'll look pretty when you're drying it. You know, very similar to the cut. So make sure that your painting looks beautiful, that the consistency is there. So this is a little trick that we like to do where you take a bigger section and always keep yourself nice and clean. And remove it just on the tip like acrylic fingernails, how they just take just the tip of the acrylic on the brush and you tap 1, 2, 3, 4, just to get it nice and heavy, and then you rub it in the mid shaft and push it through to the ends. This is a great way to do somebody that that likes those delicate foily looking highlights. And so now we can see the placement. We can see the piece coming underneath, right? That's going to be my shadow. And then this peak right here will be my highlight. And to really get a beautiful balayage, you have to have the right placement. And look at those fundamentals as you're working your